Welcome to the channel. Thank you everyone for tuning in. So Atawak watches, they reached out to me a few weeks ago, maybe it was a bit longer, asking for me to review one of their models. So for this video, I'm actually just going to be doing an unboxing and a first impressions. And if I feel I really need to come back with a full review, then I might come back. Now, Atawak watches, if you have a quick look on their website, they are a micro brand, and they've got some very super unorthodox, very unique looking watches out there. And this particular model, I need to open this to see which one it is. So let's open up that box. And this is the Atawak Ettore automatic. Clearly, race car inspired. You can see just some of that detailing here, like a front grille. I mean, you've got your speedometer here, etc. So it is a fully interesting watch, and I take my time when I look at these, super unorthodox, bespoke watches, and I like to really get to know them, look at the build quality, look at the engineering gone into it, because a lot of the times they have very bespoke movements. What I mean by that is they have to kind of modify your typical, general movements, like maybe Seiko NH35s or Miyotas or Etas, and you find there's a lot of kind of planning gone into that and a lot of designing gone into that, and they've actually modified everything in around to make this watch design come to life effectively. With this Atawak Ettore automatic, so this particular one, this is the light version. As I mentioned, there's a more expensive version, so that is called the Ettore Drift. It comes in at $1,300 with a Miyota 9000 series automatic movement, and that's like the big brother of this. This is called the light version, as I said. Comes in three different colors, the one in hand plus like a black and gold version and a black and green version. And this is powered by the Miyota 8215, and it's only $650. And I say only because in comparison to the older brother at $1,300, but in terms of our price range, is 650 is very dear. Now I know straight away that Miyota 8000 series might have put a lot of you guys off, but you got to remember that Miyota and the issues that visually present themselves are only on three handers, that juddering seconds and etc. And the hacking, is it no hacking? That's right, it doesn't hack, does it? Yeah. But with this particular design, I don't think you're going to see that juddering seconds hand, and it doesn't actually matter. It's as good as a Seiko NH35, a Jap made, so it is going to be reliable and very accurate. Now, looking at the construction, it is full stainless steel. You've got a flat piece of sapphire here. You've got a see-through case back. Wow, that rotor is cool. Totally modified the rotor, to the point where they've made a totally new one. They've had to use a new screw in there. So they've kind of gone above and beyond to what normal modification would be. Case back is screw down, so I think the water resistance won't be that high, yeah, 30 meters, because you've got actual, screws that screw it down. Very detailed textured dial that I'm seeing, and you've got these smaller sub dials, so this is how you kind of tell the time. So you pull it out one click, and so that is a ghost position because this movement should have a date window. So two clicks, as I said, that seconds disc there is still ticking away, and then you can obviously change the time. So as you change the minutes, you'll see onto kind of your last sub dial, if you will, that little pointer there, those are your actual hours. So it is a pretty cool way to tell the time. And not only is it cool and quirky, it's actually very easy. It's not trying to reinvent the way you see time or tell time. You just have to read it slightly differently. It's easy to see, it's 4:34, but it's quite simple to tell the time on this one. Now, with regards to some of the smaller details, the design, let's have a look. This dial, the texture is awesome on it. I think it's been manufactured well enough, very sharp, no kind of QC issues, no misprinting, nothing defective. And it's kind of difficult to judge these watches because with your traditional watches, you know what they should look like. I mean, with something like this, it's just totally bespoke and out there. You don't really know what to gauge it against. So I try not to, and just try to look at the watch as it is. Looking at some of the finishing and the case, you've got a obviously asymmetrical case. Along the top side there, you've got a beveled polished edge, very nicely polished. And then on the side of the case, you've got these vertical brushing, and yeah, quite coarse on that side, but a very clean transition between that. Your crown is actually on the opposite side of the case. You can see some signage over there. Pretty normal standard crown, as you saw, push pull crown, no screw down business. And on the actual A face, this is where you see just a bit more detailing. So you've got a line placed around here and it looks to be loomed. I don't know. I need to obviously get it under the light to see what kind of loom you have on this watch. But then you've got this centerpiece here with some beautiful machining there, straight cut lines, some light engraving, and that gives you the impression of like a dashboard, some air vents, etc. So you can definitely see, you know, the car theme into this watch. So let's try to measure this. Okay, so let's try and get the measurements on this. We are looking at a diameter of 47 millimeters, case thickness of 14, and a lug to lug of 47. Now, that is astonishing. That really is astonishing. 24 lug width, because looking at the unusual case design, and those dimensions are very usual. You know, the 47mm diameter, same as a tuner, 14mm thickness, same as your pretty much any old dive watch, and that 47mm lug to lug, again, same as a tuner. So nothing too out there, which is very surprising. Now let's move over, look at the strap. It's a leather strap. Again, I like these little bumps here and the little padding there. Of course, it definitely shouts race car. Reminds you of, you know, the lumbar support on a leather seat. It does look really well made. Brushed hardware with some signage on there. Leather keeps. Okay, so let's get this on wrist. So here's the Atowak Ettore automatic on my 6.5 inch wrist, and it wears deceivingly well. Initially, out the box, you think this watch is huge, you know, very unusual K shape, and you wonder how it's going to fit on the wrist. Now, I've got a pretty normal wrist size, 6.5 inches, and it doesn't look odd at all. It definitely does not wear like those oversized and huge diesel watches that you see some people wearing. That 47mm lug to lug, 47mm diameter is actually still within that wrist. 14mm thickness, nothing crazy, you know. It fits so well, and that top half of the case, so let's measure that. Let's see how wide that is. And that's only 41 millimeters, and that is kind of central to the wrist. The weight is okay, it's decently well balanced. That strap is very soft, conforms to the wrist well enough. I like the padding on the side, and the general look of that strap. Very comfortable. I think this watch would look awesome under a leather jacket, in your sports car, racing car, or on a flashy motorbike. Why not? So Atowak Ettore, and I mean even the name is literally unique, and it's kind of based off an encryption method. I think it's called the Caesar cipher. And I'm not going to pretend I'm in any way familiar with ciphers and deciphering things, but yeah, it's after the Caesar cipher. That's what they say on the website. And Atowak kind of means unique when you go to the cipher. So, you know, very befitting, no doubt. You can see I'm kind of struggling with this strap. I don't know why, but it's putting up a fight, definitely. Okay, there we go. We've got it off now. So, final thoughts, or shall I say full first impressions. Okay, in terms of case, build quality, awesome. Feels solid in hand. It is built really well. You've got polishing and brushing. Case is well defined. You know, I can't see anything there which is out of the blue, which is wrong, or kind of poor, which is poor quality in hand. Dial, again, fantastic setup. It is still quite legible for, you know, how out there it is. The quality is great. Handset, those discs, very well printed, clear. The machining on that dial is that machining or texturing present on the dial is awesome. The leather strap is great. Okay, loom, that's something we haven't seen, so let's check out how good that loom is. So with regards to the loom, you got full BGW9, and as I suspected, that line around that case, that is fully loomed, and that looks awesome. Bit of LED lighting. Now on your right hand side, with regards to the discs, quite dull, I'll be honest. So your hour disc is probably the brightest disc, to the point you can just see the hour marker, and your inner disc is quite dull. You definitely can't see what minute you're on. And just after using a bit of UV light, was I able to brighten this slightly, but still not enough. It's definitely lacking in the loom department. So yeah, with regards to the loom, definitely room for improvement. Could do quite a lot more. You got to remember, everything is bespoke, everything is brand new. Everything is just for this particular model. So you've got a lot of tooling costs for that, and that brings me on to the cost for this watch, or what they want from us, is $650. It's definitely up there, very high price, and I can see why they'd ask such an amount, just due to how bespoke everything is. Everything had to be designed just, very particularly. There's no others that they can kind of emulate, from the dial to those discs to the handset. I mean, everything to be tooled individually. There is a hell of a lot of cost behind there, but it still is a very high price piece. I mean, a lot of micro brands that price themselves at this point, they also offer Swiss high beat movements. Who's going to wear these kind of watches? How likely are you to wear this watch on a daily basis? But having said that, in terms of wearability, it does actually fit on a wrist really well, surprisingly well, and the time is, again, quite easy to tell. So that's it from me today, guys. This is my first impressions of this Atuak watch. It's definitely raised some questions for myself. But again, more importantly, let me know your thoughts on this watch in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you on the next video.